Hey friends, Miss Opula here. For today's activity, we're going to be creating a bubble painting background. The reason we're going to be creating this bubble painting background is because next time I'm going to be showing you how to make a tutorial on weaving a fish. So today we're going to start with just this background here. Also have another example. Now there's two ways you can go about this. I have a pre-bought, pre-mixed bubble packaging that I could then add some food coloring to. And then when I add the food coloring to it and I blow the bubbles into my paper, I could get some of those bubbles that I could pop and kind of get that bubble quality, bubble painting image. But the other way that I think is a little bit more successful for what we're trying to do is a method where you kind of mix your own bubbles together. So what I have in this dish is just some water, some dish soap. I put a few squirts in, and then several drops of the blue food coloring. Now I'm using blue, but you can use whatever colors you wish. After you have those three things mixed together, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to take a straw. When you use a straw, make sure you're always blowing out. You're not blowing in towards you. You don't want to ingest the things inside of the container. But when I have the straw, I'm going to place it so that the other end is into the liquid, and I'm going to use my end to blow bubbles. So you can see it's kind of cool, it's kind of flowing off the top. After that, I would take my paper. I'm going to set this down and I'll hold it up so I can show you. But I'm literally going to kind of press it into the bubbles themselves. And what that does is it gives you a really cool, nice bubble kind of quality to the image. Activity, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be cutting out a large fish, and then we're going to learn how to weave in the middle section. So weaving, you can see this kind of in and out pattern. That's the area where we're going to be placing pieces of paper to kind of weave in and out of the surface. So let's get started by talking about the supplies you'll need, and then we'll talk about the steps a little bit more. Alright, so what you need for this activity is a variety of colored paper. I have stuck with brighter colors because I want my fish to kind of appear more tropical. Tropical fish usually have brighter colors. If you don't have these bright colored papers, you can always just use white paper and then maybe color it yourself. Besides the bright colored paper, you'll also need some scissors and some glue. Alright. The first thing you need to do on one of your pieces of paper is you need to draw a fish as large as possible. You can look up some simple ways to kind of get that outline, but I have included on mine the dorsal fin, which is this top fin, and the tail, which is the caudal fin. I did not include what's considered the pectoral fin here in the center because this is where we're going to be weaving in and out. So after you have drawn your fish, cut it out, the next thing you need to do is you need to create kind of these slits or these gills like you can see in mine. So how you do that is you simply kind of fold, don't crease, kind of bend over your fish down the center. Then you're going to take your scissors and you're going to cut slits about 5. Okay? When you cut your 5 slits, you want to make sure that you don't cut it all the way through, because what happens is if you cut it all the way through the top, it's going to cut your fish in half, and you don't want that. You just want the slits. You just want the gills, okay? So you need your fish with 5 slits or 5 gills cut in, and you also need the other colors kind of cut into strips or pieces. I have about 4. I might only be using 3 of these, so you need about anywhere 3 to 5 slits. I have cut mine about 5 inches long, but you really just want to make sure that when you cut, no matter the size, that they're going to be fitting nicely into this middle section of the fish, okay? Once you have your fish and your slips of paper, now we're going to start talking about the weaving, okay? For the weaving, you're going to start with your first piece of paper, and you're going to kind of go under this first gill area. So weaving works like this. I'm going to go under the first slit, the first gill, over, under, and it takes a little work with your fingers, over, under, over, until it's kind of fit into the first section. Now, once I have this, it's nice to go ahead and glue down the ends so that they don't kind of move around as you're trying to weave in and out the other pieces. So I'm just putting a little bit of glue on one end. I'm going to flip it over and put a little bit of glue on the other end so that it will stay in place. All right. Now that I have the first one, I'm going to move on to the next color. But this time when I weave, I want to do kind of opposite directions. So this time I noticed that it's under right here. So I'm actually going to put mine over. This next one is over, under. And like I said before, it takes a little moving of the fingers. It's a little tricky. Over, under, until it fits in just beside the first slip of paper. All right, and then I'm gonna kind of push that a little more towards the first one so that it fits snug beside it. And I have room for my next one. So I'm gonna go ahead and glue this down on the ends. Flip it over, glue this one. All right, once those are in place, then I can move on to my next color. And I want to do the opposite of the orange one I just did. So I'm looking at my blue one to kind of give me an idea how this one will be placed. So I'm starting with under this time. Under, over. Under, over. I'm going to put this one in, and I'm not sure I'll have space for my last slip, but that's okay. So I'm going to give this one a good glue in place real quick, and then we'll see if we have room with the pink, which I don't think I do, but that's fine. So I'll have 3. And like I mentioned earlier, you'll probably have anywhere from 3 to 5 on average. All right, so I've kind of glued those in place. The next thing I would do, once I've weaved in and out of the fish, is I could go ahead and glue this down. I can add an eye. I could draw in some coral reef underneath it. At that point, it's completely up to you how you want to decorate and design your background. And I'm going to take a picture of mine and post it with the video as well. So I hope you guys enjoy. I hope to see your fish where you've weaved in and out. I hope you learn a little bit about some of the different fins. And I hope that you guys have a wonderful day. And we'll see you guys soon. Bye, guys.